why we have crisis in marriage today. Are you ready to hear it? We have crisis in marriage today because we have lost the sense of God. And when we lost the sense of God, we enter into sin. And sin is what separates us from the life of grace of God. And the evil of sin today is abortion. Abortion is the destruction of the foundation of marriage. And then what do I explain to you? Why abortion is the destruction of marriage? Listen carefully. Did we not say that the teaching of the teaching of the church said that marriage is between one man and one woman? And they love each other so much that really their love for each other express it in a true love, in a reality of life. So that child is the effect of the reception of the love between men and women. And when that love is being used not to proclaim, is being used to use the person, then it's sin. How many times we use the gift of sex to satisfy our passions? We are using the woman, and sometimes the woman uses the man for their own passion. And that's why Pope Paul VI, in that good and beautiful encyclic Humanae Vitae, that many theologians today, many Catholics are really upset about it, he speaks, and I quote, "Every act in marriage has to open to life." He said, "Father, you're crazy. You are going to tell me that I have to have 50 kids? No. The church is saying to you that you as a parent has to plan your family. You as mother, as husband and wife, you don't understand that you too have to observe chastity? That you are called to sanctify yourself? That you are called to make sacrifices? That you are called to live in a marriage, which is the marriage that really resembles us to God? And that's very important that we have to understand that. Because if we don't, we are going to be in big trouble, dear people. And that's why marriage is so holy that really sanctifies both man and woman and made them holy. As I said to you, abortion today is the destruction of marriage. Because when marriage is not expressed and the life is not reality, then we are going to have some artificial means by which we destroy life. I speak about contraceptives. And that's why the church does not believe in contraceptives. Because contraceptive is a lie. I love you so much that I want to give you myself. And when I am about to give you myself, I retreat. It's like I'm going to give you a gift. And when you reach out for the gift, I reach out from you and take it away. And that's why contraceptive is a lie. And the lie is not truth. And truth, if it's not truth, is not in God. How many times today we are using abortion as a means of contraceptive? Well, my father, my daughter did something bad, and I am going to change it. You cannot have two evils to make it good. They send them to a clinic, and they really destroy the life of that little one, which have the potential of being a person and being born in 9 months. I cannot be specific how abortion takes place because it is the most horrible, horrible act. Do you see the birds do abortion? Do you see the cats or the dogs do abortion? Only humans. Because we have one thing over them, and that is the choice to say yes or no. And the choice becomes for us not freedom, but become for us a a means by which we are destroying our very self. We speak about population of the world and how many people are in China, how many people are in such and such a nation, and we want to stop this. Look what happened to our country. Do you look around? What we call it the minority, within 5 years became the majority of this country. Our Saxon English people are not having children. One, because they have to please their wife, and nothing else. Because they want to have the 2 cars, they want to have the pool, they want to have vacation, they want to have things. They are not for marriage. They are just for a good time. How many times we talk to people and say, he has his checkbook, I have mine, he do what he wants, I do mine. What kind of a marriage is that? And this is what we're going on here. That's why we have to understand that if we don't go to the root of our teaching, we are going to ask for trouble. And that's why marriage is sanctified by God and enter into a sacramental life of the church, when God not only bless that marriage, but become part of that marriage. Many people say, why the church then give us divorce? Give us annulments. Because the church, after inquiry, and that's why it takes about 2 years to have an annulment, inquire from those who know, both bride and groom, from family and those who are not. They come to a conclusion that sometimes both or one of them does not have the real essence of what marriage is. Marriage is not, I am going to try it, if I don't like it, I get out. Marriage is for life. How many times we enter into marriage with different objectives? How many today people get married drunk? I saw it myself. Men, before the wedding begins, they have beer in the trunk of the limousine and they drink like fish. And you come to the altar, he does not know what he is doing because he wants to get out of this, but he came there because the father of the bride will kill him. How many times they enter into marriage because there is a child and they have no other choice to cover up? How many times they enter into marriage and psychology, they are so screwed up in their head that you don't know what they want. And they are incompatible to each other. Because the only thing that they did during the courtship is going to the movies and going for dinners and see how much they are going to run here and run there, and never sit down and see what she has to offer and he has to offer and see what they have in common. And the first day they are there together, they begin to say, for this, I married. But you know what, dear people? This is many of our marriages today. And that's why the church, when she evaluates all this, she comes to conclusion and say, this marriage never was a sacrament. And that's what the church say in the annulment. This marriage never happened. You say, what about my children? If you went to marry in front of the judge or the mayor of the town, do you say that those children are not yours? The church is saying that marriage is not a sacrament. But these children are yours. You can marry in front of me, you can marry in front of the mayor, you can marry in front of a judge. The children that comes from that union is yours, but it's not a